Good Thursday morning, everybody. In today's episode, I have two guests, Brian and Kevin Lucy, and we're going to talk about their experiences in district and all-state bands and festivals, and also about their ensemble that they started, the clarinet group, which has been a quartet and a septet and a sextet, a lot of different variations. And then at the end of the episode, we'll talk about today's theory topic, which is solfège, break down how to use it and what it's useful for, and then a little some tips about how to practice your solfège and some games and exercises. So let's get into it. Brian and Kevin Lucy are actors, set builders, entrepreneurs, and accomplished musicians. They're the producers of a local talk show, Lights Out, based in Sebago, Maine, at the Barnswall Theater. Kevin acts as the show's host, Phil West, and Brian operates technical aspects including lighting, sound, and videography. The Lucys have been involved in theater from a young age. Previous credits include Prince Eric and King Triton in The Little Mermaid, Amos and Carl in Big Fish, and the one I was most sad to miss, Newsboys in Newsies. As the sons of a wood nerd, their words, not mine, they have also built sets for their talk show and the one-act plays at our high school. Kevin and Brian dipped their toes into the pit orchestra's waters last summer. Kevin played trombone and Brian played reeds in Arts in Motion's Newsies. The Lucy brothers are perhaps most well known around this area for their musical contributions to the community. They both play in our school's concert band and big band, as well as community bands in the Sebago area, and they sing in vocal jazz. They are district and all-state veterans, having attended many classical and jazz festivals. Brian is also a member of The Kitchen, an award-winning jazz combo that cooks. The three of us have gigged together as members of the band that accompanies a local vocal group called Da Capo. So, welcome to the podcast, Kevin and Brian. Today, I thought since these folks are really experienced in the world of all-state and district festivals and everything, you guys are veterans. So, I was gonna ask, what have those festivals taught you about, well, good musicianship overall and rehearsal technique, and also anything about music theory that you've learned there or that you've applied what you know?
Yeah. One of the most important things that you get out of festivals is listening, because they're new directors and it's new stuff you haven't heard before.
What the heck?
And yeah, so listening, that is more than just musically. It's listening to what the director likes, what he likes to see in his group. Maybe he or she.
Did you? Okay, I was going to say that.
We've had Jackie. Oh, I should probably know her last name because we're not supposed to call them by Dr. Townsend was her name. She worked at USM for a while. It was actually at the middle school District 1 festival. Yeah.
Wait, so you guys did these festivals in middle school?
Yeah. And our
you
school,
were in District 1?
Yeah, our school was grandfathered in, Lake Region Middle School, to both District 2 and District 1 festivals.
What does that mean?
It basically meant that we could do 2 festivals each year.
Oh, I'm
just
jealous.
In middle school band. Yeah.
You guys were lucky.
It was fun.
I only went to the District 2 one. And actually, funny story, that's the first time that I found out about you guys. We went to the same festival in 7th grade or something.
One interesting lesson that I liked from 2 years ago with Dr. McMurray was he basically showed phrasing as boxes instead of, because measures are so intuitive to do phrases by measures. So instead he drew the boxes over the measures.
Wow.
And he was like, this is how music should be written. We don't, the
bars
the
bar lines?
Yeah, the bar lines
are in the way. I see. Okay, so is there anything you learned about rehearsal technique from those festivals? I don't know, in band, Mr. Sakash, at the beginning of the year, he always puts out this one sheet of 10 things you need to do as a musician. And I feel that's really applicable at the festivals.
I think a lot of kids come in really attentive, and it's almost wow, they're trying really hard. but it's actually a really good atmosphere to be in once you get used to it because everyone's like really quiet.
Yeah,
There's
no,
no
at
side
first it's really
conversations.
awkward.
Yeah.
Because no one says, they're too afraid to say anything. And like,
Yeah.
I get really nervous because I think I get imposter syndrome. I think I'm like, these kids are way better than me. What am I doing here? And then, so like, I get scared to talk or whatever.
A big thing is watching cutoffs. I've noticed that pretty much with all festivals, at the start, everyone's really good, but then once you get comfortable with the director, kids like to play and finish their idea.
Oh, they like to just get some creative liberty.
And I've probably done it too, but it's just, that's probably something that we could work on at a festival. Yeah.
What I like about, like, I went to the jazz festivals a couple times, and I went to BOC once, but, like, especially in the smaller groups, I like that we get to spend less time picking out notes and rhythms, and, like, especially this year with Michelle Fernandez, we spent a lot of time working on the musicality of it, and, like, she explained the inspiration behind her pieces, and also like the other people who wrote for our group explained like the story behind it, and it was really interesting to like bring the story alive through the music instead of like in our school band we spend so much time picking out notes and rhythms and like parts just to get everything to be played how it's on the sheet, but then like at the festivals we go another step and bring it off the page, and like I don't know, it's really fun.
I think also a lot of times at these festivals, the people who are conducting know the composers and they know the story.
That is so valuable.
So like we played to Kelly's An American Elegy, and our director like helped him write it. So
that's crazy.
It was like even better and way more in depth.
What did you say about it?
I think he premiered it maybe with I think it was it about Columbine? Yeah, it was about Columbine. And yeah, he worked with their band when they wrote it. So he had a really that was probably one of the most powerful, probably the most powerful band music we played.
And I heard it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our conversation about festivals. They're really helpful. And if you are a high school or a middle schooler and you're thinking about doing it, absolutely audition, because like the first time I auditioned for an all-state for the all-state jazz festivals, I like fully did not expect to get in. I just did it because I already knew the audition piece, because it was for also the same piece for our big band. But I just did it, and I was like, well, it's good experience to practice auditioning for the future. And then I got in. So you really never know, and it's fun to just like get better at your instrument by practicing for the auditions, and like, and it's really helpful.
Yep.
So it's a good thing to do.
Fun.
It is really fun.
It's not a competitive environment at all. Once you're there, people are seating where they're gonna sit where they're gonna sit, but everyone's there to make good music. So
I've met some really cool people for sure. All right, the other thing that I wanted you guys to talk about is this ensemble you guys have started at our school, which is the Clarinet Quartet. It's like this ensemble's pretty famous around here now. I think you've gotten your rounds. You've done a tour. You went to like.
We went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, went to two. They were kind of assisted living, and
That's
then
very
the other
nice.
one was in Gorham. Yeah.
Did they like it?
I think so.
They
had a
loved it.
preschool there too who liked it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was our holiday tour.
Yeah.
This past
winter.
holiday season.
So I want to know, like, what was the inspiration to start this group, and like, was it your idea or was it Mr. Sakash's? Who came up with that?
I think the summer before last year, we went to the USM band camp, and they had the clarinet. All of the clarinets did a clarinet ensemble piece.
That's so cool.
It was like our sectional, and we did like a clarinet concert. So, I mean, it was like two pieces, I think. But
yeah, what'd you play?
I don't remember. Maybe Caprice. But either way, it was fun to just hear clarinets and have 4 parts dedicated to it.
I like the timbre of a group that has all the same instruments, like with their like a family of instruments, because they all have the same like tone, and you can blend really well. It sounds so beautiful.
It was like 12 clarinets too.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it wasn't just like it was bigger than our quartet is. Yeah. Actually, sometimes a quintet. So
You've been a septet before, I think.
I think our name needs to change, like clarinet mega ensemble. No.
Yeah.
And then that winter we wanted to play at like a community gig.
Yeah.
Like it was a fundraiser, so we wanted to play Christmas songs. And we found The Grinch. And let me tell you, people loved The Grinch.
People ate that up.
And I think that's the reason we have grown. People are like, I want to play The Grinch.
No way.
We only played it once, but maybe we'll play it again. Yeah, we might. I mean, it's a little late to do that, but it's The Grinch. So, yeah.
So it came all from The Grinch.
And then all of a sudden, arrangement for a quartet, though.
So I'm curious to know how you program for this ensemble. So you obviously, The Grinch was a popular one. After your one-hit wonder, how'd you go from there?
Well, we have a lesson teacher named Samara, and she has experience with being in clarinet groups. Yeah, but she gave us music the first time, and then Mr. Soleil has helped, and we've found some stuff. YouTube has a lot of, they're kind of intermediate arrangements, and they're not always played by actual clarinets, but you can see if our group can play it or not.
Oh, okay.
So have YouTube is a good.
Have you ever had to like transpose parts to fit that like weren't originally for clarinet?
A lot of times they have like it's for a flute too, or maybe saxophone, and they just make a bunch of different arrangements.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So like you can buy different like instrumentation.
Yeah.
But they have ones for just clarinet.
Yeah, it's like the same voicing. It's just transposed for you.
Huh. That's
We've had alto clarinet, but I don't think we used that part. We want to use alto clarinet.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
We need to get alto clarinet in this in our Freiburg community.
Yeah, I think there's one sitting over there.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now I've always wanted to once you guys started this ensemble, I really wanted to do a brass ensemble, but I think I'm really impressed with how you have managed to like organize it and get people involved who like are dedicated and willing to rehearse for it, because not everybody is willing to like schedule a rehearsal outside of, everyone's so busy and put in the time and effort. So how do you get people interested in and involved, and how do you schedule the rehearsals and make those productive?
Well, number one, it's an open group, so anyone can play with us.
Yeah. That's really good.
Part. And then this semester I just sent out a form about like all the times in this week from 7 a.m. to like 8 p.m. and people clicked boxes of which ones they could make. So we have 2 different rehearsals times set up that most people can be there during the week. So it's all about flexibility, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
And being accommodating and also being welcoming. We could talk about like in group, like how we run the rehearsal.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's also kind of flexible. Like, it's not that Brian or I are like telling everyone what to do the whole time.
Yeah.
It's more of like an open forum. Like, what do we think would sound good? And sometimes we can talk over each other, but we're all having fun, and we usually come to a consensus.
And do you ever get Mr. Soleil or like another music teacher to listen in and then give you feedback or anything like that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Is that helpful?
Yeah, it's helpful.
Good.
He's also done it for so long that he has like easy things to fix that make big differences. Like maybe, like yesterday in Big Band we did the separation, or we made the marcatos a little bit longer.
Yeah, make them fatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that made a big difference.
It did.
So
yeah.
Little things like that are really quick and free from him.
Free. Yeah. That's good. Cool. And then my last question about this is, do you think you'll do something like this after you graduate from high school, like in college? You think you'll be in a clarinet ensemble?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And if there's not one, I hope there's enough people, but also a different ensemble is cool too. So.
Right? Like what kind of ensemble do you want to play in?
Like just a woodwind
Yeah.
Not just a woodwind. A woodwind ensemble would be cool. I'd like rock. I liked being in rock band, so or combos. Anything is fine. But
that's cool.
I hope small group. music.
Yeah, I
is so
love chamber
nostalgic.
music, like not just like classical chamber, but like small group music, and you get to work really closely with those people.
Yeah.
And you get to put your input into how the music comes out. That's really fun.
And everyone has their own voice, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
different from like concert band
Definitely.
or part even. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, today for a theory topic, we're going to talk about solfège. So the reason I decided this would be a good topic is because way back in sophomore year, when we took a road trip up to Orono, Maine,
Yeah.
in the minivan or something.
Yeah,
And,
it was just the minivan.
And we were talking about like taking music theory the class next year, or like we were thinking about it or something, and Mr. Sekash was like, oh, we should practice
It's like, we need some more fun games.
Yeah, he was trying to come up with some fun. So these two introduced a family heirloom of a game.
An
you know,
heirloom. It's been around
you want to explain?
much longer than sophomore year.
They taught me a game for like practicing solfège using Uno cards, and we played it on the whole way down pretty much, and it was really a blast. And so after we talk about solfège, we'll explain the rules, and maybe I didn't bring Uno, but like we can explain it for you on the audience members, so you can play at home and like have as much fun as we did. Yeah. But first, let's talk about like what solfège is for the folks out there.
It's kind of a weird word, so.
You know what? I wish I had looked up the etymology behind it, because I wonder. Okay, I'm gonna look up right now. What language is this from?
Solfège. It has so in it.
Oh, it's Italian. Solfeggio.
Of course.
Oh, okay. It's derived from the names of two of the syllables in the scale, sol and fa.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the fifth and the fourth note of the scale. That's really interesting. Okay.
That's
of course it's Italian. Most music terms are.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what solfège is, it's a tool that musicians use for identifying notes in a scale. So there's two kinds of two kinds of ways it's used in the world typically. There's fixed do and movable do. And in our class, and mostly around, like I feel like in the US, movable do is most common. But in some other countries, like, I don't know where, maybe like Asia, it's fixed do is used.
Last year we had John from Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. He was familiar with that.
He was, wasn't he kind of like all for
yeah.
fixed do? He's like, why
he was a
do they do
proponent.
this?
He was.
Fixed do it starts on C. Or
yes.
concert B flat.
Fixed
Which
do
one is it?
means that, so here let's go over the syllables in a major scale. So we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then so for fixed do is always C. So if you sing in any key, the syllable do will always be C, and re will always be D, and mi will always be E, and keep going up the scale. That's how it is. And then they use the syllables in between for like sharps and flats. So on the way up the scale, it's so we have do, and then D is a half step above, re, and then re, mi, fa, and then fi, so, si, la, li, ti, do. So on the way up, the vowel sound is E, and then on the way down, sometimes it's A and sometimes it's A. So it's do, ti, te, la, le, so, se, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. Okay, that's really complicated, but the most important ones are the ones in the diatonic major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those are like the most commonly used ones, especially if you're doing movable do, because in movable do is always the first note of the scale. So if we're singing like F major scale, do would be F, re would be G, mi would be A, and so on. So yeah, that's the rundown on fixed and movable do. Do you have anything else to say about that?
Actually, I think like when it's first introduced in classroom, it's kind of like, why are we doing this? Yeah. But after, I think I'm starting to see why it's helpful.
Yeah, because you're in chorus. Is that why? Yeah, so before I took theory, I was in chorus, and I wasn't intending to take chorus in high school, but when I came in the scheduling didn't work out so I could take band. So I decided to do chorus. And we use solfège and chorus a lot, especially when you're like first reading sight singing a piece. We would like completely forego the words and instead put in solfège. And so I started doing that in chorus before I took theory. And then when I got to theory, well, I had a little bit of an easier time because I had done that in chorus. And then so like sight singing was really fun for me because like I loved using solfège to figure out the melodies, and like it was so helpful for me for whatever reason. Like it was a lot easier for me to use movable do solfège than to sing like the letters of the note or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like I don't have perfect pitch, so it's I can't just like see a note and be like, oh, that's how you sing it. But solfège is a good way to like see the intervals between notes and like hear where in the scale you are in a melody and stuff like that. So
because fa will always sound the same. It'll sound like the same idea.
Yeah, no matter what key you're in, the place you are in the scale sounds the same.
I said fa because it's pretty distinct, but yeah, any of them.
Why is it so? What do you mean?
I feel like I can always find fa
okay.
pretty well. It's just a nice sound.
I can always find do, mi, and so because those are in the major, the chord of the one chord. And then T because it's the leading tone, and the leading tone is so distinct for me, like because it really wants to resolve to do. Yeah. And then the other one, like la, sometimes is a little bit iffy.
La is hard for me.
But like, yeah. But there's some like what do they call it? Like posts where you can land and then go from there. Like if you find whatever notes you can identify quickly with the solfège, then you can go to the other ones that are nearby, and that's helpful. All right, so let's do some practice using these, applying this, and we're gonna sing some scales. So let's start off easy with a major scale. Let's find a do. What's comfortable? What the heck? Let's start here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do.
Nice.
Yes, very good. So that's a major scale. We use all the solfège within a major scale, which is, if you ever heard the song "Do a Deer," that's the scale they're singing. Okay, for a natural minor scale, which is the next one we're gonna do, we're using movable do because that's the one I'm most familiar with. Yeah. We're going to use movable do. So for a natural minor scale, there's variations on how people do this. Some people will start on la because, so if we were to do the relative minor of the major scale we just sang, we would start on la and then sing up through do and then all the way up to the next la, and that would be the natural minor scale. How I like to do it and how some other people do it is they start on do, but then they use the syllables in between, so like may and lay and te, to identify that those notes have been lowered. So like the third and the sixth and the seventh of the scale are lowered a half step in a minor scale, from a major scale to a natural minor scale. So that's how I like to do it, because that like really runs home the idea that those notes are flattened from the major scale.
This is the reason solfège has the in-between notes, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the reason. That's one of the reasons.
Maybe not for that scale specifically,
but yeah,
that's the whole point.
Right. Yeah, if for a movable do, that's exactly why it happens. Okay, so why don't we sing our natural minor scale? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, te, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
So that's your favorite scale, probably.
Yeah, we listened back to that, and I was just reminded that the natural minor scale is easy for me to remember because it has my name in it. Yeah, Soleil.
Oh, did I?
Soleil, te, do. Harmonic minor scale has my name in it too. So that's the next one we're going to do. Let's do harmonic minor.
Okay.
So this is natural minor, but we raised the seventh. So we're using me, te, and ti.
Okay.
Here we go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And the last one we'll do for today is melodic minor, which is lowered third.
Yep.
Just
going
just
up.
the lowered third going up, and then a natural minor scale going down, which is lowered third, lowered sixth, and lowered seventh. So we're using may on the way up and may, lay, te on the way down.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, te, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Okay. So the point of learning solfège, it really helps learning new music. Even if you're not singing, like when I'm sight reading something, before I sight read, I'll like sing it in my head using solfège so that I can know what my part sounds like before I try to play it on my instrument. That's really helpful, especially for like audiating instruments where you have to audiate a lot, which is like especially the horn. I have to audiate a lot. I have to like hear my part before I play it because the partials are way too close together. I've talked about that way too much already, but it's so true. And then for sight singing, it's super helpful. Like one of my favorite things to do is like open up a hymnal and then just sing all the soprano, tenor, or soprano, alto, tenor, and bass parts. And like hymns are like super easy to do that with because the harmony is very like 18th century. It's like common practice harmony usually. It's nothing nothing crazy. So I can usually do that because most of the notes are within those scales like that we just sang.
Yeah, singing at church is fun.
It is
fun.
To read music. It's like one of my favorite parts.
I guess singing is fun in general too. So.
Yeah, I just love sight singing stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I go to a concert and they let you sing along and they give you the sheet music. That's so much fun.
Yes.
No, that's like my favorite. I love sing-alongs. Yeah. So solfège can help you get better at sing-alongs if you ever want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing we're going to do is cover some exercises and games that you can do to practice your solfège. Okay, so we'll come back to Christmas Uno. Okay. This is what we were talking about earlier. You want to explain it?
Yes, so Christmas Uno, using solfège. So we're going to assign numbers 1 through 7, the different scale degrees, and a major scale.
Right, so 1 is do, and 2 is re, 3 is mi, and all the way up.
Yeah. So what's the song we did?
So we did like Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. I remember that one.
Okay. Do you remember what note that starts on?
Rockin' around. I have no idea. Okay, so funny story when we did
Wasn't
this.
That like 5 every time?
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Takeout said most Christmas songs start on so. Yeah. But this one does too.
Yeah, tell the story. It's a good story.
Okay. I was just really proud of this. When we did this song, I started singing it, and then for some reason we like played it on your phone to like check. Oh, we had a discrepancy about what the melody actually was. Yeah. So then we listened to it on your phone. And I had sung it in the right key. I was really proud of myself.
And the right melody.
Okay.
But yeah. So
anyways,
so if it starts on 5.
Rockin'. So the first thing we have to do is figure out where do is.
Yeah.
So we sing the song a little bit until we find out where do. Rockin' around the Christmas tree. I'm feeling kind of a pull towards this note. This is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Right.
That's the key we're in. So now that we've established our key, then we can figure out what the solfège is. So this is do. What's the first note?
So.
Rockin'. And the next note? Rockin'. That's the third note of the one chord. So
5,
mi.
3.
Yeah. 5, 3. Rockin' 5 again.
Yeah.
Round is 6.
Yeah.
The 3.
Yeah.
Christmas 5, 5.
Yeah.
Tree. So we just do like the beginning part that much. Rocking around the Christmas tree. And then so we found all of the numbers, which I've already forgotten the order, but so essentially
5, 3, 5. I think it was, right? To start.
Yeah. 5, 3, 5.
You have a red 5. You have to find a red 5 in the deck fast.
Yeah.
And then you find a green 3. Put it next to it. And then you have to find another red 5.
Another one.
And it's Christmas colors, and you're singing a Christmas song, and you're finding the scale degrees, and you're learning solfège, and it's a great game.
So we'd like lay out the numbers of the notes and then in like alternating green and red order because it's Christmas, and then we'd have to sing it using either the numbers or the solfège. I don't remember if we did solfège, but to practice your solfège, you could lay out the numbers and then translate those to solfège syllables and sing the song using solfège.
Yeah.
And the goal was just to do it as fast as you can, is to like lay out the cards in the order for that song.
And while you're singing it, you tap the cards, which you're singing.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and we got competitive about it.
We did.
Yeah.
But it was all in good holiday cheer.
Oh yes, and then this has been a reoccurring game.
I think it was in April.
Oh yeah, we've done it. We've done it in every month of the year
Yeah.
on bus rides to various festivals and stuff. It's a tradition now. Okay, another game you can do if you don't have Uno deck, which is like fine. You can take any song and just replace the lyrics with solfège. I like to do that. Like I'll be like going to bed in my head and I'll just start singing songs in solfège. So you just take any song, and then you figure out what the solfège syllables are and then sing it on that from your memory. You can do that anywhere. If you're driving in the car, going to your lesson, walking around the grocery store.
Walking your dog.
Absolutely.
Walking around the Christmas tree. That was rocking. Okay.
All right. And then another game you can do is name that tune. But so like I'd give you the solfège of the first few, like the first phrase of a song, and then you'd have to sing it to yourself. So I wouldn't give you a rhythm, but you just have the first notes, and you have to try to figure out what the song is.
Yeah.
So if I said so la so do ti.
Okay, so la. What was it? So la so
Do ti.
Do ti. Is it happy birthday?
Yeah.
And you know whose birthday? I think it's leap day. So if you have a birthday today. Oh wait, don't you can.
Well, it is leap day right now, so. Anyways, I'd call that a success. So you can do that with any song, and it's good fun. Okay, that's all we had to talk about today, and we have to go eat lunch.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
It's been fun.
As always, theme music is composed and arranged by Isaac Houghton. The musicians are Michael Sakash on alto and tenor sax, Brian Lucy on baritone saxophone, Quinn and me on trumpet, me on trombone, Ethan St. Pierre on drums, and Isaac on bass. Our cover art is painted by Sierra Rollman. Recording equipment thanks to the FA Arts Department, and thank you to Mr. Swayze for teaching me how to use the equipment, and of course, thanks to my amazing theory teachers who inspired me to pursue this project. I will be back next week for more Thursday morning fun.